I'm so glad we have the opportunity to take just a few moments here today on this Tuesday. And I'd like to encourage you from Revelation chapter 21. It's such a wonderful joy for us as believers to have the final chapters of eternity future. Just imagine the hopelessness of people that have no clue about the future, but we know how everything began, and we know how it ends and how it continues on. And so as believers, we need to stay encouraged that way. And I love to preach on heaven when the Lord leads me to do that. And one of the passages that we use is Revelation 21. And this is speaking of the final state, a new heaven and a new earth. The old earth and the first heaven will be passed away, and the New Jerusalem will be part of that new earth. It's going to be glorious. And then we read in verse 3, "And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there will be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away." And it goes on to say, all things will become new. In shorter time than we know, especially in light of eternity, things are going to be totally different. We have ahead of us the tribulation, but we'll be with the Lord in heaven. And then we'll be with Christ as he comes back, and then he sets up the kingdom here on this earth, a 1,000-year reign with Israel as the head of the nations. And then at the conclusion of that time, after Satan has his final attempt to thwart God, we have the great white throne judgment and the destruction of the heavens and the earth, and the new heaven and the new earth will be created, and all things will become new. You look at the sorrow of our day. You look at the pain sometimes we as believers have to go through. We look at the great conflict that's going on, and oftentimes we just say, it's just going on, and you feel hopeless. Folks, we're not hopeless. We know what God is doing. We have the final chapter, and won't be long, and we'll be on a new earth in the New Jerusalem, and it's going to be a glorious time as God's full purpose for creation will then be realized, and we will have a wonderful opportunity to fellowship with our God and to accomplish what he wants us to accomplish, and we'll not have to fear death. There'll be no more crying. There'll be no more pain. There'll be no more sorrow. And so all of these things that seem to overwhelm us now, they'll be gone. So can I say it just down to earth? We need to be tough now by the Spirit of God's grace. We need to realize, no, we're in the vale of tears now. This is a time in which we need to do battle for God. And keeping our eye on eternity, we need to give everything we can to the cause of Christ here during these days. So stay encouraged. Got a great future ahead, and may God just lift us up to do the work that he's called us to do.